Hey everyone, it's Carissa Wiley at sprinkledwithglitter.com. Thanks for joining me today. Today I am sharing another card featuring the Citrus Bloom stamp set. If you missed yesterday's video, be sure to check it out. I am showing you how to use the layering stencils for this product suite from Pinkfresh Studio. It is a part of the brand new December 2021 release from Pinkfresh Studio. And this stamp, die, and coordinating stencil set may be my favorite Pinkfresh Studio product ever. So I'm starting out with the one-piece stamp and some, I think it's Fabriano Artistico Extra White Watercolor Cardstock. And I have that in my MISTI. I'm prepping the surface of my watercolor cardstock with my powder tool, and I'm inking up this one-piece stamp using some embossing ink and stamping it onto my watercolor cardstock. Now I'm going to take this over and I'm going to add some embossing powder. This is white embossing powder onto the surface of my stamping, and I'm going to heat set that because I'm going to do some watercoloring with this stamp set today. Now, watercoloring is a great way, especially when you're using embossed lines on your stamped images, to kind of practice, because the embossed lines kind of create a well for your watercolor to kind of land in, and it's easy to kind of paint inside the lines when you're using this technique. And it gave me an opportunity to do something a little bit different with this stamp and die set and kind of practice my watercoloring and pull out some supplies that I haven't used in a while. Also, this gives a very different look than the stenciling that I did yesterday with the coordinating stencils. And I did a no line coloring effect with the coordinating stencils. I didn't even use the stamp set yesterday, and that's beautiful on its own. So today for my watercoloring, I am using the Mijello Mission Gold 36 set watercolors, and I have never used them before. I looked back and I think I bought them in 2018 and I haven't ever used them. And so I was excited to kind of bust them out and kind of do a little watercoloring. So I mixed up some colors that were kind of inspired by Pinkfresh Studio ink colors. I kind of mixed up something close to a coral reef, something close to an evergreen, and then some beautiful like kind of sweet mustard color. And to start my watercoloring, I actually added clean, clear water to the stamped image and then started dropping in my color. And I colored the entire image and then I heat set it. And now I'm going back with a wet brush and a wet paint onto a dry surface to add more layers of that color and to kind of give some harsh lines to this image. And like I mentioned before, this watercoloring in an embossed stamped image is really forgiving because that embossed line really helps hold the paint inside of the lines of the image. So I just showed you watercoloring one image today, but obviously I went through and watercolored all of them in the same way. And once it was dry, I went ahead and removed it from my board, and that's just a cutting board, quite honestly. But I will try to link that below. And I am going to use the coordinating one-piece die to die cut all of these images at once. Now, this is great because you end up with so many images, and you can create several cards from one little watercolor session. Now, I'm going to use a lot of the images today, so I really only got like one card, but if you want to split them up and use them more sparingly on cards, you could definitely do that. Now I have a piece of white cardstock here that's cut to 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I die cut the inverted scallop frame die from Pinkfresh Studio from the center of that, and it's going to create a window for me. And I'm going to use some of these elements around the outside of that window to kind of create kind of a wreath idea. But before I do that, I am going to create a sentiment. And for the sentiment, I'm using the brand new Built on Dreams stamp and coordinating die set. It has these great thank you and home sentiments in it. And I have an idea for this stamp set that I haven't gotten to try out yet. And I'm excited to try it out. I'm going to actually post it on the Pinkfresh Studio YouTube channel soon. So I have this sentiment mounted in my Mini Misty. I prepped the surface of some vellum using a powder tool, stamped the sentiment onto my vellum using some Wow embossing ink, and then coated it with some Brutus Monroe embossing powder in the color Gilded and heat set that. Now there is a coordinating die that comes with these sentiments. And so I lined that up around the outer edge of my sentiment and I die cut that, and I have a perfectly die cut thank you sentiment. Now I also used the Lush Vines hot foil plate that is brand new in the December release to kind of create a debossed image on some of the same watercolor cardstock that I used earlier. And so this is just a pressed pattern into the paper, and I am mounting that behind the window that I created on my card front. And then I will take that entire thing and mount it to a top folding A2 sized card that I created from some Hero Arts antique ivory cardstock. Now I can take the images that I watercolored and die cut earlier, and I have varying levels of foam adhesive on the backs of these images, and I'm arranging them around that scalloped circle window that I created on my card front. And then I'm adding my sentiment here that also has a little bit of foam adhesive on the back. And I thought I would leave it there, but I decided I wanted to add a couple more of these floral citrus groupings. I love these images so much. They remind me of my childhood in the orange groves, and they also remind me so much of something like Rifle Paper Company, which I'm a huge fan of. I don't often buy their stuff because I make my own cards, but I love their imagery and I find so much inspiration in it. So once I have those all adhered onto my card front, I am going to add the brand new Sparkling Champagne Metallic Pearls from Pinkfresh Studio. These are really beautiful. They look kind of weird when you see them in the package, but they have a very beautiful iridescence, kind of a neutral. It's not quite a bright gold, so it's kind of nice on a more subdued card like this. Now I wanted to show you a couple more color inspiration ideas for using the stamps and the coordinating layering stencils. These are a couple that I created when I was playing around with the stamp stencils and coordinating die for the Pinkfresh Studio Create and Connect event. I actually taught the class on the Citrus Blooms stamp and coordinating die and stencil set, and I had a great time. So I played with the colors on this a lot, and these look absolutely beautiful in so many different color combinations. Now, as always, I will have links to the featured products used in this project in the description at YouTube. But if you head on over to my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com, I'll have that linked below. Over there, you'll find more still shots, more information, and a complete list of supplies. And you should totally join me on Instagram today because this card is a part of an Instagram hop celebrating the brand new Pinkfresh Studio December 2021 release. And there is so much inspiration and prizes to be had over there. So I will have my Instagram linked below so you can join me there as well. Thanks so much for stopping by and watching today. I am so glad you're here, choosing to spend your time during this busy season with me. It really means a lot. I hope you enjoyed this project and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications here on my YouTube channel. And if you loved this video, I would love it if you would share it with a friend. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.